Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Maxon Report presented by Ohio Sports Talk. Tonight, we have two special guests with me here. We have Wyatt and Adarius from Champaign Central High School over in the Illinois area. How we doing, gentlemen?
I'm
Doing
doing great.
pretty good. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Welcome to the show. I'm glad it's been a few weeks coming. We had a few hurdles to get through on my end. Things got a little bit busy for me there for a while, but I'm happy to finally land you guys on a show and get this rocking and rolling. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. I know you're from Champaign Central High School at the moment, and we'll just kind of bounce the mic back and forth here. And we'll start with Darius. I know I kind of started talking to you first, and really kind of got to know you over messaging and a little bit of a phone call here and there. Tell me, have you always been from the area? And what grade did you start school?
Well, I'm originally from the Danville area, like 45 minutes away from Champaign. Pretty much, I really just started football around the 8th grade because of Zaire and Wyatt. I wasn't into it for real. I was kind of a basketball guy, and then I just fell in love with it when I started playing. I like the physicality of the sport. I love that in order to win, you have to be a team to win and to go far. And I love that. I love that for the football. I have the love for the game. I love the game.
That's awesome. Wyatt, a little bit about yourself. Where did you start the love for the game? Around what age group? What was it? A peewee team, a football team? Sport athlete, something.
Yeah, I've as far back as I remember, I've loved it. From just being around my pops, he likes watching. He's a big Bears fan and an Illinois fan. He watches them every Saturday, Sunday, hearing about them every week. And when I was young, I watched Odell Beckham Jr. That was my favorite player when I was super young. So he really got. I remember him making a one-handed catch, and that was just that really got me into it.
Oh, 100%, man. And kind of walk me through. So you get into the sport. What middle school? Because I know you said you were a potential transfer. You weren't always in the Champaign Central area.
Yeah. So I went to my freshman and sophomore year. I went to Champaign Centennial, which is Central and Centennial are rivals. It's in the same city. And I had moved, started living with my pops this past year, and I did my junior year at Central, and I'll be doing my senior year there too.
That's awesome, man. And Darius, what about you? Have you always been in the area, and what was the middle school like for you?
I've always been in the area. I went to elementary, some of the elementary years in Danville. Then went to IPA, International Prep Academy, Franklin, Edison. Now I'm at Central.
That's awesome. And for your respected positions, have you guys always played one side of the ball over another, or do you prefer a little bit of defense, a little bit of offense, a little bit of both, where you can take frustrations out on one end or the other? Or
Wyatt wants to play defense. I do not like it at all.
You do not like it at all?
No. No.
Yeah. So when I was in 8th grade, I played stand up DN, like an edge rusher in a wide 9. And it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of success there. And going into freshman year, and I also played. I wasn't like a big dude, but I was pretty strong. So I played O line also during Pee Wee middle school football. And then going into freshman year, I played quarterback actually. So they didn't really want me to play defense, but I still did because I was physical and aggressive. And then going into my sophomore year, we had some dudes that were getting D1 looks at Centennial for the outside linebacker where I was playing. So I didn't really get to play at all. And this past year, they wouldn't. My offensive coaches really tried to push for me to not play because I was such a good asset on offense. They didn't really want me to play defense.
Well, I can see that as a defensive coach myself. You don't want to take away too much talent from one side over the other, but I do have a lot of athletes that kind of flip a little bit of both worlds. But how about you, Adarius? What on offense do you like the most?
I can't say as much as Wyatt did, but I I was my 8th grade year. I was actually his backup at center. He played center. I played center, and few things happened around towards the end of the season. I started maybe 3 games at center at the end of the season, the semifinals, championship, and stuff like that, and went to Central. Played freshman. Didn't play JV because I was actually behind 2 centers then. I was behind a sophomore and a junior. Back then they had juniors playing JV. It was well that year. Played my sophomore year. Was still the backup at center. Was the backup. Got a few snaps, like probably like 40, 50 the whole time. This year I switched to right tackle. It's doing great. I like it. I like it better than center. And I'm going to push to go to the collegiate level at right tackle.
Of course, that's always the goal. That's always the goal to push it to the next level. One day at a time, 1% at a time. So take me through. You guys kind of you crack into high school. You kind of settle in. This year you finished 4-5, 4-4 in your conference. A little bit of a rough year, but as we talked offline at Darius and Wyatt, we talked about you guys have a lot of building blocks, a lot of young guys that aren't going to be so young next year. You got the pieces all together, and kind of walk me through this season because I've been on those teams. It's been a roller coaster of a year. Was there a game where you guys finally felt like you kind of broke through as a team, or a moment you guys kind of came together, or like a signature win this season that stands out?
Can you repeat that for me again? I didn't.
Yeah.
You're kind of lagging.
Oh, 100%, man. I was talking about you guys finished 4-5 this year, 4-4 in your conference. And, I'm just kind of asking, we talked a little bit offline but to both of you that you have a lot of building blocks going into this upcoming season, a lot of young guys stepping into a lot of bigger roles, a lot of guys that are going to be more comfortable. The building blocks all there for success in a playoff run. But this season, was there a defining win where you felt like, all right, this is going to mesh, this is going to move forward? Was there a time or a big win or a moment that stands out?
Really, the beginning of the season, we had it going. We played a non-conference game, Springfield. I think that's the only non-conference game we had, right? We played them. We were up 21 going up into the half, and then, as a lot of teams do, they get cocky, they get in their heads thinking like they're better, and they kind of flew past us and got us, and we carried that momentum into the Centennial game, our rivals, and it was just a horrible game, both sides, both teams. I think we could have did better, but I know, everything is a work in progress, and we're gonna do better next year. But I think those are only 2 games that were very there for us. They were like we could have won those games.
Yeah, so
That kind of set the tone for the whole season. Those 2 games, because they really came down to that Centennial game. We lost by 2 points. We were 2 points off from going to the playoffs. That's what we go by. So we got to be 2 points better next year. 2 points better at everything. Try our best. Be better than last year. The wins we have were wins that were guaranteed. We were better than those teams. We got to beat teams that are better than us. Have competition. We didn't have competition in the games we played. We beat Urbana. I mean, that was a team we know we're going to beat. We didn't beat them for the last 40 years. Danville. I mean, they didn't win last year. Central didn't win last year, but this year they weren't a very good team. I feel like we could have did better this year, but it was the work ethic. We didn't have it, but now we do. We have a standard set, and I feel like we're going to do better next year.
And that's a super important part. You always want to have the set the standard and set traditions. And I think traditions is where you have that foundation and you're able to build it up to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. And, if tradition is not there from the senior class, tradition comes from the new building blocks. So the younger guys start the tradition, start the work habits. Winning games doesn't start on game day. I preach that as a coach. Winning games starts, in June when you're waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock to be in the weight room by 6:30 while everybody else is sleeping in. and hanging out with their friends. That's when you start to win games. Preparation is everything. Weight room is everything. Getting in there and making yourself better. That's going to be the things that determine the season. Game day preparation is important. Game play on game day is important, but winning starts in, like I said, June, July. You hit those dog days of August when those 2 days, roll around and you're sweating to death and you're bleeding everywhere and you're scabbed up and you just hate the guy that you've been hitting for 3 weeks straight. And that's where you're tested. That's where you take everything and you forge it in the fire. Then week 1 is the finished product. I call it the sword. Week 1 is the battle sword that is sharpened and ironed and clabbed all together, and you're ready to just stab it in your opponent. But I'm glad you guys have those foundations and those things set up. We'll definitely be tracking you when next season rolls around. But we dove a little bit about this season, a little bit about the hardships. What and I'll each let you kind of answer the question. Darius, what do you do in the off season that just kind of unplugs you from the game, relaxes you a little bit, so that you're not always super stressed about the game and workouts and this and that? What do you do to kind of unwind?
I found my new problem to solving things is the gym. Hitting the weight room with the coaches and the players, getting around my team just makes everything feel better, relieve stress. Yep, just being around my teammates in the weight room.
Yeah.
What about you, Wyatt?
For me, I feel like we haven't been as good as we can be. Last year at Central we went 4-5. My sophomore year at Champaign we went 4-5, and my freshman year we went to the playoffs, but we lost to Creek Monet by like 40. So I still have a sour taste in my mouth from that. I was a freshman. I didn't really get to play in that game. So I still have a sour taste in my mouth. I want to be able to get to a playoff game and win. So, and I just believe that pressure, it creates diamonds. So I feel like there's got to be some sense of pressure on yourself to be able to go in to work out every day and off. Like me and AD, we were in the weight room before we got on this after school today. We've been in. I think our last game was the 23rd.
We've been in the
Friday. Yeah, been in the weight room ever since that Monday after the Friday. So 5 days out the week, either lifting or running the hill, and taking the weekend to study, watch people that's in the league, and watch your positions to mimic your game behind them.
Yeah. And I'm off of that. I really I want to make history. Central has never made the playoffs since 2019, and that's a very long time, And making history will build memories, That's what I go off of. Let's make some history and build memories. I've never been to the playoffs before. I know Wyatt and Zaire has. He's right here next. But I've never been to the playoffs. I've never had the playoff gear because, ISHA, they send playoff gear. I've never had none of that. So I just want to see how that feels to be in the playoffs and have the pressure of when I go home. I've never had the pressure of that.
And I value those times too. I promise.
Yeah, really.
Those times are coming. It sounds like you guys are doing all the right things. And and just peeling back the onion a little bit further. What tell me a little bit about you guys. What do you like to do for fun? You told me a lot about the game. You told me a lot about preparation and the weight room. But what do you guys do to unplug from the game and off season so you're a little bit less stressed?
I go to work. I love it. I love my job. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's the best job of them all. I work with kids under like 5, 3, older than that.
Okay.
I work with go to work at a trampoline spot. You know what that is?
Yeah, I like those. We have those around here.
Yeah, I work at it's called Elevate. I work here. That's what I do to relieve stress. I'm kind of nervous. I've never been on this.
What about you, Watt?
Well, I value friendships a lot. A lot of my friends that I've made that will be lifelong is from football. So I like to talk to them a lot about like life. I mean, I value him. I've met AD and our running back Zaire and our receivers, our quarterback. I like to spend a lot of time with the quarterback. But off the field, I mean, we're just regular people. So go over to their house, play video games, maybe. Uh, I do a lot of chores around the house. Make sure everything looks good here. Study. The classroom's the most important part before you play football. So I take high value in the classroom.
That's awesome. I always preach grades and stuff like that because a lot of recruitment and things of that nature, especially in this day and age where it's everything's digital, everything's online, everything's posted. Recruiting is such a different world from when I was in. When I was in, it was somebody that was in their mid 60s, 70s with an earpiece in because they couldn't hear, and they were taking down notes on a pen and paper. And your number, and they shook your hand maybe before the game or they came in. There was none of this. I had none of this online, none of these interviews, none of the Twitter, none of the X, no huddle, getting your stuff out of there. So I think, I think it's just wild that, and, great for you guys, especially in the day and age of the NIL, that you guys are doing this. And tell me a little bit, have you guys been on, I know Adarius, we kind of spoke about, tell me about your unofficial visits and official visits you've had going on. If you want to walk me through a little bit of your recruitment.
I've only been on one. It's the University of Western Michigan. Wyatt could really go on more about that because he has been to a lot of them. He's told me about his experience, and I want to experience that more. Western Michigan, it was great. I loved it, but I would like to go on more, see my home, get an official, unofficial from my hometown, Illinois. I contact a lot of coaches, but Coach B. Mill, kind of famous, and he don't like to text back.
Well, that I'm sure there are, hundreds and if not thousands of emails and recruits that, they get every day. So I believe your time will come, especially Western Michigan. We cover a lot of the MAC on my show, the MAC conference, because I'm right in the heart of the MAC. I'm right near OU. I'm right near Miami of Ohio. So we get a lot of MAC coverage, and
I would love to go to Western Michigan. I was
pretty
kind of
competitive.
I was thinking about my recruitment. If I wanted to go D2, go JUCO first, and I've talked to my coaches. We have to talk more about it, but I think I really would want to go D1 my first 2 years, but it's whatever God's plan. I go by what God plans out for me. So if He plans out D1 for the rest of the 4 years and go to the NFL, that's what He got for me. If He say I got to go JUCO, that's what it is. We all live by what God plans out for us and what He has for us. So I believe He has something special and great for me. So I'm going to live by it and see what comes to me every single day. Work hard. Most importantly, I work hard for what I do. I work hard. And why you can go about what you need to. Yeah.
Wyatt, and same question to kind of just a little refresher, but any kind of recruitment or official visits, unofficial visits you got going on? Take me through it, especially in this day and age of the NIL.
Yeah, so early in the season, I think it was right after our first game, late in August, I had a game day visit to NIU, and that was a real fun experience. It was my first one ever, so it's gonna be a memory forever. And they won that game, and we got to get in the locker room with them after, and they were in there just having a party, and that was cool. And then I went to Western Michigan with him. We both got the invite, so we went up there. That was a good experience. It was a night game, and it was homecoming, so it was.
Oh, so you kind of got a little bit of glimpse of, the past, present, and future on the sideline at the same time.
Yeah, and that was actually really good experience. Also, I got a Minnesota State. I think it's a D2. I got the invite. They wanted me to come up there for a few games, but that's like a 9 or 10 hour drive. So we couldn't really make that happen.
We're not going to speak on how we didn't get to stay the whole game because our running back got homesick. Yep.
No, it's all right. We're not here to throw dimes. We're not here to throw dimes. But have those been the only only recruitment so far? How's recruitment like been for you, email wise, communications wise, things of that
Oh, yeah.
nature?
I use X a lot. Talk to a lot of coaches on X, and actually, they were giving me some feedback. My coach, my OC in high school right now, he's been in college and worked in colleges, and he has some friends, and he sent them my tape, and they all think I can maybe slim down a little bit and get faster, which is what we've been working on these past like 2 weeks. And I'm gonna go play outside receiver, be a big body outside receiver. And that's a lot. Also, a lot of coaches that I've talked to have said, and they said like if I can do that and keep playing at a high level, they'll want me and they'll come get me. So that's what I've been working on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely, I'm excited for you both. Honestly, like I said, the hard work's definitely going to pay off. It's going to show up not only on game tape, but it's going to show up physically. It's going to show up mentally and emotionally. And I think you both definitely had your own touch on it, and I can appreciate it. And it was well said by both of you. Kind of moving on a little bit here, just kind of more digs, more learning about you guys. What is the game of football really done for you guys? Is there a life lesson do you guys take, which you learn on the field with you in everyday life?
It taught me how to go about things. It taught me how to be a man about things, how to be tough. Gain a lot of friendships from it. More than really that, it told me what you do off the field shows up when you do on the field. Like I said it wrong, but same meaning. Kind of stuttered a little bit.
No, I get you. And what about you, Wyatt? Any lessons from the gridiron that you take with you every day?
Yeah. So just I like I said earlier, family and friends. I've gotten lifelong relationships from people from it. And it also, if you can be a leader, I feel like being a leader, there always has to be like 2 or 3 people who's the leader of the teams. If you don't got that, you won't be that good. So if I feel like being a leader on the field, it can translate to off the field. In the classroom, sitting in the front row answering questions, uh, in the weight room, everywhere else. Hard working, you can be hard working on the field at practice. That'll translate to games. You can be hard working off the field if you play other sports or in the classroom. Again, it always comes back to the classroom. I tell everyone this. And then, yeah, that's friendships. The friendships is a big thing to me. Family. I feel like I can call.
I think you got cut off for a little bit, but
Yeah.
he'll be back. He'll be back shortly. Uh, we'll kind of keep rolling. We'll wait for Wyatt to kind of reset in a little bit. But Harris, do you do any other sports besides basketball? Do you do any kind of basketball
Well,
background, baseball?
I'm not doing basketball anymore, but this year I will be doing track. Wyatt got me to do it. I don't know when it starts. He'll let me know, but I will be doing track and field this year. I will try it out.
I do think that having a little bit of background in different sports also helps. I say this on my show all the time that a lot of my better receivers, tight ends, and blockers and stuff of that nature, they all have a background either in wrestling or basketball. Basketball primarily, you box somebody out, you get that rebound, you use your body, you kind of size somebody up, use space, get in the paint, things of that nature. Relates so much to getting to that first down marker, getting into that end zone, or getting to that corner. Making the catch or making the defense. So especially when it comes to wrestling, body control, getting somebody on the ground, blocking. They teach you so much on that. A lot of college coaches these days, we even make the players do yoga and a lot of ballet things to keep them balanced on their feet, things of that nature. And you'll see that moving forward. It's definitely they'll give you weapons and more tools in your toolbox to keep rocking. But so basketball, what was your position?
Well, I used to play point guard. Used to be the head of the offense. Got a little bigger, started gaining weight, played power forward. Then after that, I just I'm not gonna say I lost the love for football. I mean basketball. Just it grew out of me. I started loving football more, playing it more, being around it more.
Yeah, I
No, I totally
apologize
agree.
for that.
No, you're okay.
I had
I
got a
think
phone call and I declined it, and I couldn't hear you guys, so I had to leave and
you,
come back.
no, you're good, brother. I'll re-ask the question. Do you have a background in any other sports besides football?
Yeah, so I do. I played basketball last year, but I get a lot of rebounds, not a lot of points. We weren't that good. It wasn't a lot of fun to me.
Not being the best team. It's not always about that, but I think
Yeah.
that one sport can sharpen another. Like you said, rebounding, using your body.
Hmm.
Just the box out method, being able
Yeah.
to square your hips up on a
Also, I
defender.
would
You can.
Yeah. Also, I would do track and field. I would train with the runners a lot, but I would never run in a meet. I'm really good at discus. It's my thing. I'm like last year as a sophomore. I think my PR was 31st in the state. I think, and I was 8 feet away from state qualifying. So I do shot put too, and I'm pretty good at that, but not as good as discus.
Hey, whatever keeps you busy in the off season. I too did track when I was in high school, just to keep the weight off. My football coach would challenge me often to keep active, keep the weight off. I grew up a triplet all boys. I love to eat. I love to fall into laziness if I wasn't being productive or had something set up for myself. So I'll be honest with you. I ran the home meets when the team would be allowed to run at 100%, but I didn't really participate in the away meets. It was all just keeping my feet light, keeping my weight off, keeping in shape, and just a little bit of cardio checks. So I totally understand using track as that weapon, and I think that a lot of people should. It just keeps you focused. You got to keep eligible for it because you're in another sport, another season, so it keeps pressure on yourself to keep those grades up. Because all I kept thinking about was next August, so I can totally relate to that. And before we wrap up things tonight, we have 731 live viewers, so thank you for everybody tuning in. We appreciate it big time.
You said how many?
734 now.
How y'all doing,
734
people?
live viewers.
How y'all doing, people? My name is Darius Davion Blaylock. That's my Twitter. Just text me if you want to offer me. I know. No.
We got both their handles up. Both these gentlemen are from Champaign Central High School over in Illinois. We're happy to have them speaking on their season and their upcoming seasons here. Before we kind of wrap things up here, moving on to the next level, gentlemen, because I believe you both will be there. I believe God will both definitely put you there through your hard work and dedication. Darius, I'll ask the question to you first. What do you bring to the next level? What does Darius, to his core, bring to your next team, the next level, and the next community that you're going to land up at?
The work ethic, the wanting it. I want it. I want it. I want to bring my family out. I want to buy my mom a house. I want a lot of things out of this. So the wanting it. You got to want this. Let me stop. In this sport, you have to want it. It don't just come. You have to want it. That's what I go by, wanting it.
100%. And Wyatt, I'll ask you the same question. Wyatt, what do you bring to the next locker room, the next coach, the next team, and most importantly, the next community on the next level?
Yeah, so I like to think of myself as a big locker room guy. Just bring the energy every day. Real likable dude. Feel like anyone can come to me about anything. I'm highly coachable. If coach asks me to do something, even if I don't like it or I don't think high of it, I'm gonna do it because that's what the coach asked me to do. I come in, work hard day in, day out, and just a locker room dude and able to pass in the classroom. That's another big thing the coaches always look for, and it's things other players look over. So if I got good grades and someone else doesn't, I got the edge on them.
100%. I mean, you look at a professional player that stands out on my mind. You look at Richard Sherman from Ivy League school. Graduated with over a 4-point GPA, kept that all his life, and he brought that IQ level not only in the classroom but to the game, and that's what made him so dangerous and agile on defense. He was able to read things and see things before before it happened, just based on tendencies, and all that came from what he even attests in his interviews. If you ever watch him speak, in the classroom. So I'm glad that you brought up that thing because being a collegiate athlete, especially in today's NIL world, where you guys are getting paid for your likeness, you're getting paid to be there, you're getting paid to represent that next level, that logo on your chest on the next stage is it's so much more than it ever has been in this day and age, and setting an example for the future. Especially in the classroom area, is something that I think schools are even pounding even harder on. So I'm glad you brought that up, Wyatt, especially. And, we always ask kind of a fun thing here before we sign off. My thing, I'm a very big movie person, so I'm just going to dive in. I've used it a few times on my program, but I think it's so fun. Spooky season just came and gone, so don't be afraid to, name one. What's your go-to movie, Darius? Is there a go-to movie that you just kind of you can pop on, hit stream, plug it in, and relax, and it takes you away from everything?
I want to say Designated Survivor. Yeah, Designated Survivor. It's a movie about presidency and stuff like that, and it's president, stuff like that. I don't want to say that on here, but yeah.
No, you can. We're just talking about movies. We're not touching anything hardcore. What about who's in that? Because I don't think I've seen it.
I don't know the real names, but I know it's about the president passing away in a big, and it was more like somebody stepping up and becoming the president and his journey on being the president and the world not liking him and him making bad decisions and stuff like that.
Gotcha. I'll have to check that one out. I'll text you offline about it. What about you, Wyatt? What's your go-to film?
A top one is pretty hard. I could probably give you about 3 though.
Yeah, hit me with a 3. Don't be afraid to expand.
So all the Lethal Weapon movies, I'm a big fan of.
Yes, my producer would love that answer. We're big Lethal Weapons. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover. We love the mix.
Yeah, Interstellar. So I really like that movie. And
you know what? You probably just hit my producer's top 3 is Interstellar. So keep rocking it.
Good Will Hunting. It's a big. I watched that movie and it was. I got a little emotional.
100%, man. That was one of Matt Damon and Robin Williams. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Best performances I think I've ever seen on screen, and it really started that Ben Affleck, Matt Damon dynamic that they've carried on for a few different films. So big time on that. Big time on that. I agree with about all those movies. And Darius, I'll definitely check out with you. Do you have a 2 or 3 that you bounce to?
Bad Boys, stuff like that. I don't really like the movies and stuff like that. But
movies?
If I was to watch something, that's what I would watch.
Are you more a reader?
I like
music.
Music. I love music. I'm an NBA YoungBoy fan. Billy Cyrus. I like stuff like that. I love music. I just, if I hear it, I like it, I'll play it. Keep playing it over.
I can attest to that. Music. I spent a very long time in the Marine Corps, almost a decade. Music carried me through a lot of that. So the reason I'm decked out is the Marine Corps' 250th birthday tonight. So I'm a little decked out in my gear. But so hoorah to them and any Marines watching. All right, boys. Do you have any save rounds or anything that you want to save to our audience? We have 807 live viewers right now. And, I'll kind of give you the mic, Darius. You can pull up first. Anything to say before we sign off this evening?
First thing I want to do is just shout out our running back. Shout out all the coaches, all our offensive coaches. I don't really care for defensive coaches,
We're not here to criticize.
I would kill any D lineman that step up in front of me. That's what I go by. And that's all I really got to say.
Yeah, to go off that, y'all just need to stay in tune for Champaign Central next year. We putting the whole state on notice, the whole conference. Putting everyone on notice.
Yeah, bro. We putting the state on our back.
Coming for everyone's head.
Coming for everybody.
That's awesome. That's awesome, gentlemen. Well, alrighty. We're at the 35-minute marker. We have 821 live viewers. We thank that everybody that's tuned in, everybody that's commented in. We will have this posted and pinned on our page, Ohio Sports Talk, the Maxon Report. I will have this on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Facebook, Instagram. We'll be a little bit all over the place. This has been the Coach Jordan Maxon. This has been Adarius. This has been Mr. Wyatt from both Champaign Central High School. Y'all have a good evening. Happy 250th birthday to the Marine Corps, my boys. I miss you guys a lot. And God bless both of you. We'll track your success. We'll have you back on. I would love to have you back on next season to talk about the upcoming things that are happening in your program in the future. And we'll put on your huddle. We'll track your progress, and you'll always be a friend of the show, and we'll have you back on. Good evening, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.